You know, the thing about Divine, you know, when you do drag and you're a performer and you have 10 years of stuff to talk about to the press, they always ask you, who are your icons? Who, you know, what drag? And for me, it's obviously Divine. And the thing about Divine that I think, you know, the fashion, the style, the outrageousness, but Divine was a brilliant actor.
I think he was, Joe, and I think now that Polyester's coming out, I mean, Hairspray's coming out, the new one, all the reviews are saying, treating him like this great icon, giving him all these great reviews. I wish he just knew that today. But revisionist history is fine as long as it's more positive, certainly.
So even when Polyester came out, they weren't...
No, they were good. He got good reviews in Polyester because he got good reviews as soon as he wasn't the Divine character, which did work because in Polyester he played a housewife and in Hairspray he played like a really hideous-looking, you know, woman. So basically that's when he got the very good reviews because it was so against type. Oh no, the best review I ever got was for Multiple Maniacs, and I sent the print to Canada and it just didn't come back, and the authorities finally sent me a letter and it just said, destroyed. They signed it. That was a one-word review.
That's perfect. Yeah. That should be framed.
Yeah, it's in Wesleyan, my film archive, yeah.
Wow. If Female Trouble is your favorite Divine vehicle of the newer movies, what's your favorite?
Well, you know, they asked the question, the cliche is that your movies are like your children, it's Sophie's choice, and mine all have learning disabilities. So basically, you pick the one that probably did the worst at the box office. So I don't know, Desperate Living was the one that did the worst of my old movies, and Cecil B. Demented, that didn't do great, but I'm a fan. They're all the same to me, in a weird way, because each one, you get through it, when it's over, you think, how did I ever get that movie made? How did it ever come out? So, I mean, each one is like a war to get made, basically. And I still have trouble getting movies made. It's not like people are waiting in line to give me money.
So, I have to mention the fact that at Midnight Mass over the years, there's one movie that we've played of yours more than any other because, let's see if I can get this up here.
Yeah.
Because of Odorama. And yes. I love Odorama. Did you guys all get Odorama cards tonight? How much do we love Polyester? I mean, it's...
And I have to give really Tab Hunter a lot of credit for that because he really had some nerve to make that movie then, and he did a great job, and he was greatly responsible for, I think, for the success of that movie because people couldn't believe that Tab had done this and actually kissed Divine in the movie and everything, even though that sounds like nothing. It was a big deal then. They wouldn't even show pictures of Divine and Tab together, you know, embracing the magazine. So he was pretty brave to do it.
And how, when you are casting, and you have some of the best casting in the world, when it's someone like Tab Hunter, who is famous for, you know, other things, and you put him in a movie, did you just call him?
I did then because we didn't even have casting. Well, Pat Moran always worked with me, but yeah, I just called him, and I said, don't watch Pink Flamingos, because I thought if he saw that, he'd never come, you know. And he said yes, and we filmed the whole movie around him, so he was only there 10 days.
Wow.
And we did all his scenes and just paid him for that amount of time, you know. And he was great, and then he liked it so much that he went with Divine afterwards and made Lust in the Dust, another movie I didn't make. But he had such a good time doing it, and in his book that he wrote last year, which is quite good, the book, he is very kind to us in remembering the whole thing, and he was lovely to work with, and really very professional with Divine. And Divine, the only time I ever saw him nervous was the night before, when he knew Tab Hunter was coming the next day, and he had to slow dance with him.
Oh, really?
Because that was the first scene we filmed, Cuddles' debutante party, yeah.
And obviously Divine and Tab hit it off.
Oh yeah, they were great friends, yeah.
Well, I think of Polyester, for me it's super special because I think of like the holy triumvirate of John Waters' superstars, Divine, Edie, and Mink.
Yeah, they're all in it, yeah.
And that's the last one, you know, because Hairspray, Edie's not in the movie.
Edie died right after it, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think Edie is so sweet and adorable.
She was a lovely lady. I mean, you would have loved her. She treated everybody exactly the same. She could meet Jacqueline Kennedy or a bum and she would be exactly the same to him. She didn't know there was a difference, and there isn't really. But she was lovely, but she said everything. She said everything out loud she thought. She was never silent, ever. I mean, she would say that she was sitting here, water pitcher, glass, light, camera.
Really?
Yeah, and you'd say, Edie, shh. You know, the internalization was a concept. It was mystifying to her, yeah.
Well, she definitely nailed some of her line delivery.
She did. Well, you can ask Mink. Sometimes take 38. Yeah.
Actually, I think it was last year, Mink and I were talking, and Mink, what movie was it? It was, might have been Desperate Living. Or
all of them.
All of them. Where like, you literally had been on set for one line all day with Edie.
Yeah. Well, you can hear sometimes when, even in that, purr, Francine, I would say, it's poor Francine, but she couldn't say it because of her teeth.
But
you know, and another thing, when her teeth started to fall out, she was on the news every night in Baltimore. They did her day 8 of Edie's last tooth, and she's like, it's still here. And then when every night it was on the news. And then when it finally fell out, a dentist gave her 3 false teeth, but she hated them because she couldn't be Edie, so he made her a fake set of snaggled ones. Because she didn't have one left for real. But every night she'd be on the news. I don't know, it's maybe gonna go. So,
that's amazing.
It was a news event in Baltimore. Mink had the best fashion statement ever when we lived in San Francisco. She would go the day after Halloween in the thrift shops and buy all the children's Halloween outfits because they were a nickel and just wear them all year. That was her clothes. Like skeleton, fairy princess, you know, they're great. And,
really?
And they're a nickel the day after Halloween.
That is so smart. Yeah. You'll come back next year and like in, you know, Christmas time there'll be skeletons.
Yeah, it's the best.
You know, we'll all be doing
You wear them
that.
all year, that's your look.
I love that idea. No,
didn't your parents always say to you when you went, it's now Halloween, you know? My father always used to say that.
Haven't heard that before. I just want to say it has been the ultimate thrill. It's been amazing. The whole weekend.
I really want to toast Peaches for having, this is really rare, you know, to see this in the country. And I go around all over the country to theaters and see this. There's nothing like this anywhere in the world. So a great toast to Peaches.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. John Waters, ladies and gentlemen. I guess if I believe in God, God is John Waters. The actors in his movies became characters in their own right. So you have Divine, you know, this drag queen who was so much more than a drag queen. She's a flawless actress and an amazing artist. Mixed with Edith Massey, you know, this older woman who people can't figure out, like, is she retarded? Is she, you know, where did he find her? Was she homeless? Like, she's amazing and so likable. And then, of course, my favorite of favorites is Mink Stole, who I adore. And Mink actually was the first person to really embrace me and Midnight Mass and come and do a show with us. My first real idol I was able to worship in the flesh, so to speak. And I love polyester. I think it, you know, it kind of mixes all those worlds. It has a little bit of Hairspray, and it's really the bridge between, you know, the underground and the multiplex. As you'll see tonight, the beginning of this film, a scientist created Odorama, with the help of John Waters, of course. And it will be introduced at the beginning of the film. But what you might not understand is that these little cards with the circles on them, the pink circles that were numbered, were handed out to entire audiences as they came in to see the movie. And each number on the circle corresponds to a scent in the movie. So as you'll see tonight while you're watching the film, numbers will flash on the screen. Sometimes it's after someone's passed gas, or there's vomit, or a skunk runs across the screen. I mean, we're not talking, you know, roses and perfume here. We're talking real odors. But for tonight, maybe improvise, you know? When it's time to smell the fart. You know, see if maybe you can't pass gas, you know? Maybe you and your family can, you know, kind of join together and see if you maybe can't create these odors on your own. And that, to me, would really be fully embracing the spirit of John Waters.